Hello,
Hello.
everyone. This Dr. Praveen Ramchandra. I'm the endocrinologist, and I am from JNV Hassan, Karnataka. I will be the chairperson for the day. Uh, I have done my MBBS, ND, and DM. I'm a senior endocrinologist working in Arka Hospital. As an entrepreneur, I own the Arka Hospital in Elanka, Bangalore, and I am also CEO of Diapers Endocrinology Clinics. We have 8 branches across India, uh, and I'm a proprietor of a small pharma company that is Life Pulse Pharma, that is also based in Bangalore. I'll be joined by my other chairperson, Mr. Naresh Sharma. He is from JNV UP alumnus, and he runs a Open Arm Foundation. Also, he has a travel agency and he conducts package tours, especially in northern India and pilgrims in the northern India. So today's topic which we have taken is how to be successful entrepreneur and how to use our JNV experience and develop new skills to excel. We made it as a part one of the series of webinar. In future, if we going by this webinar, we uncovered topics we like to cover in the subsequent webinars pertaining to the entrepreneurship. So entrepreneur is something not very new to us. We've been hearing from the day when Steve Jobs started his Apple company and Facebook was started by Mark Zuckerberg, and we all know this entrepreneur. So the term entrepreneur is not very new to us, and and many of us will be definitely dreaming about being entrepreneur and starting our own startup companies in different areas. So we have the panel of speakers for today who are themselves are successful entrepreneurs. We have Miss Anita Srivastava and Mr. Sandeep Tripathi, Mr. Arvind Yadav from banking sector, and we have Mr. Raj Sharma, Mr. Tek Singh, and Mr. Ashwin Kumar and Naresh Sharma. All these are entrepreneurs, or they closely deal with entrepreneurs or the startups. So we'll be having a very good input from different sectors, CA to bankers to uh, travel and tour companies to many different businesses. The experiences we can be shared. The topics we have choose is why and who should be entrepreneur. Miss Anita will be speaking initially, and because not anybody can be entrepreneur maybe. And what are the step-by-step process of founding and startup firm? That will be taken by CA Sandeep Tripathi. And later, how to fund your startup. Many a times your dream to materialize, you may require some funds. So we have that topic, and later we have how to hire staff and how to retain them by our speaker, Mr. Raj Sharma, who is from HR background. And later we have what kind of insurance we have to get to our business, that will be taken by Mr. Tek Singh Patel. And at the end, we have very interesting inspiration stories will be shared by Ashwin Kumar regarding how these stories can inspire us, and we can relate with this story and make our own journey in the entrepreneurship and make our startup successful. With this, I invite Miss Anita Srivastava to talk on the first topic, that is why and who should be entrepreneur. Madam is a businesswoman from JNV, and she studied in JNV Faridabad, Uttar Pradesh, and she deals with mainly the printing and branding and both indoor and outdoors and promoting activities and supply to the corporates and the government alike. With this, ma'am, please let us know why and who should be.
Yeah, my name is Anita Srivastav and I'm from JNV Faizabad, 94 batch pass out. And currently I'm doing my business in New Delhi. And the field, my field where I'm working, it's with the printing, branding, giving complete solution of POP items to the corporate, supplying the IC material to the government. And my company name is AIA Brandwork, and it's gonna be like 10 years that I'm working here in Delhi NCR. So today's topic on which we have to discuss that the topic is like why and who should be the entrepreneur. So Dr. Praveen has given us chance to speak on this. See, first of all, I would like to tell that why entrepreneur? See, if you are ready to be your own boss, you need more flexibility, and if you don't want to work under anybody, then you can choose to be an entrepreneur. Of course, it is not so easy to be entrepreneur because sometimes there are a lot of challenges which are coming up. First of all, whatever your expertise is there, right? If you had some special qualities, on that particular quality only you can try to establish your business or the core area. Fine. So initially when I started here in 2012, it was not very easy because to analyze the subject or that what is your expertise, and then to start thinking that how you will go, nobody is there, it is really very tough. But if you are ready to take the challenge that okay you can do, and you can utilize your qualities which you have, by that only you can do. So the passion is very very important. Otherwise sometimes you will feel that okay, let in between while moving ahead on the journey of your entrepreneurship, you will feel oh this is not very easy, I should leave and start doing something else. So if you had a quality to face the challenges, then only you can do the business, or the quality which you have as an entrepreneurship, it can take you to move ahead. So there are two, three important points which decide that how who should be an entrepreneur. So if you're ready, if we take example like we all are Navodayan, and we have seen in our Navodaya time that we are doing in our daily routine so many things. Like early in the morning, we are waking up, then we are doing our stuff. In a strict schedule, we are there. We are very, very disciplined. So all these personality which we have seen in our Navodaya time, it definitely helps us to grow and see the things in a bigger prospect. So the first thing which comes, if you're an entrepreneur, you should never ever feel what to say, like if any problems, because it's not a smooth path that you know that what are the steps every time things will move according to you. So suppose any problem comes during your business, or so you should come with a different idea. If you're doing business or you have a skill that you can solve the problem, and with a different step. Sometimes you also have to do the experiment. Sometimes you are also lacking with the financial kind of things. Sometimes you are not getting the answers of that what exactly you have to do. But the skill which required that time, that you have to be really patient. At the same time you have to be patient, and at the same time you also have to experiment the thing. So two, three things which is very, very important. Nowadays we see that everybody is working in the different sector, either the corporate sector or in a private job. And we see it's a like 9 to 5 shift. People are working. But when you are entrepreneur, you can have your own flexible timing. I mean, you also have to do the work. Of course, I mean, it's not very easy that if you are doing your own business with your skills and you have chosen one particular field where you are putting everything, your effort. So you also need to timing, your timing could be different, but you have to work, like you have to work, hard work you have to do, maybe 12 hours, 15 hours, and because there is no set pattern, you are your own boss. So step by step you have to learn, and you will be doing some mistakes, but still you will be learning from your mistakes. Like I remember, for any company, what is important? We think that we should have all the qualities, right? But we are only we have some quality by which we take those things ahead. Suppose any person who is from the financial background, so he will be very good on the finance part, right? But if suppose he has opened the company, so definitely he's having a skills of entrepreneurship, like managing the adverse situation. Then he will be doing work in the awkward time, or he will be putting more effort on it. So uh, so being from the financial background, and he has opened the company, so he also have to master with the other skills, like the marketing part, the planning, the strategy, then motivating the people. uh, so you need like so many qualities inside you to uh, run the company with the skills of entrepreneurship, right? So I'll be just giving 2 3 more points. Curious that every time you are learning something, and you are also managing the time, and always you are ready to do you are ready to do experiment, and of course you will be having, then only you can grow with your business, and with the progress, and you can progress, and your company will grow. But time to time, definitely you have to check that what are the different points where you have to eradicate something, and something you have to add on for making your company success and to earn more. So if you are like an entrepreneur, then you will have more flexibility. So I would say that people should come, they should not take it that okay, this is they can't do, like they can't be an entrepreneur. Yeah, it is not easy, but you can't, I mean, think that you can't do. So you should come up to face the problems, see the different kind of challenges, and you have to believe in yourself that you can do it, right? So that's all I can tell. That's all, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Anita. And once we know what it takes to be an entrepreneur, and what benefit you can get out of entrepreneurship, rather than working in a separate, in a different companies, either government or private, in other way. So once you know to be entrepreneur, to know that you should have you should do your homework before you venture into the entrepreneurship. For example, first few steps I would say could be that you need to find your industry and niche. So where your expertise lies and where you can go. That is one thing. So once you found that your industry or the area you want to start up your business, then you have to do thorough research market, and you have to educate yourself properly and extensively. Then only you have to try to start your startup. So that is a step 4. Build slowly, slowly. I mean reasonably, I mean, with understanding all this, your market and educating yourself and doing extensive research. For this, I invite Mr. Sandeep Tripathi. How to build our business, what it takes, step by step, how you can start your business, what are the types of business one can start, private limited or LLP or proprietorship. So the different kind of business or method or structure you can have. Mr. Sandeep Tripathi is a chartered accountant and he is alumnus of JNV Nagaon Chhatarpur. I invite Mr. Sandeep, please tell us how we can start up our business.
एक्चुअली मैं बोल रहा था कि जैसे बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना है कोई भी, तो ये टोटल डिपेंड करेगा कि 3-4 चीजें हैं. जैसे अभी जस्ट आपने बोला कि मार्केट रिसर्च करना है. कोई भी बिजनेस स्टार्ट करने पहले मार्केट रिसर्च करना है कि मुझे क्या करना है. तो ये डिपेंड करेगा मैं करना क्या चाहता हूँ, कि मेरा जो बिजनेस स्टार्टअप है वो किस लेवल का जाएगा. बिकॉज अगर मुझे छोटा सा बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना है तो मेरे लिए प्रोप्राइटरशिप कंसर्न ही ओके है. बिकॉज उसमें मैं ही अपना सेल्स भी देख सकता हूँ, मैं अपना फाइनेंस भी देख सकता हूँ और मैं अपना सारी चीजें खुद हैंडल कर सकता हूँ. बट अगर मुझे बिजनेस थोड़ा सा बड़ा करना है तो इसके लिए मुझे देखना पड़ेगा कि मैं पार्टनरशिप फर्म में जाऊं या कंपनी बनाऊं. और अगर मैं कंपनी क्रिएट करता हूं तो फिर मुझे 2 चीजें देखनी पड़ेगी कि एमसीए जो है, एमसीए के रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस मुझे कितने फॉलो करने पड़ेंगे. बिकॉज पार्टनरशिप फर्म में मुझे सिर्फ पार्टनरशिप जो एक्ट है मुझे उसके रूल्स फॉलो करने पड़ते हैं, कि जो पार्टनरशिप एक्ट के जो कुछ पॉइंट्स होते हैं 18-20, मात्र वो पॉइंट फॉलो करना है कि कितनी कैपिटल होगी, what will be the ratio of losses, what will be the ratio of profit. और तो पार्टनरशिप फर्म के साथ अगर मैं जाता हूं तो मुझे मात्र कुछ पॉइंट्स ही देखने पड़ते हैं. बट अगर मैं कंपनी की ओर जाता हूं तो मुझे बिजनेस के साथ साथ आरओसी की फॉर्मेलिटीज भी कंप्लीट करनी पड़ती है. बिकॉज बिजनेस एक अलग से चीज जाएगी और मुझे आरओसी का जो सारे फॉर्मेशंस हैं, उसके फॉर्म्स वगैरह हैं, उसके रेगुलेशंस हैं, वो कंप्लीट करनी पड़ेगी. और तीसरी चीज इसमें होती है एलएलपी, लिमिटेड लायबिलिटीज पार्टनरशिप. ये होता है आरओसी और पार्टनरशिप फर्म का मिला जुला हुआ स्वरूप. एलएलपी में क्या होता है, मुझे आरओसी के भी कुछ पॉइंट्स, ओनली 2 फॉर्म्स मुझे कंप्लीट करने पड़ते हैं जो कि गवर्न होता है आरओसी से. पर जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस होते हैं वो मैं पार्टनरशिप फर्म के फॉलो कर सकता हूँ. उसमें मुझे आरओसी से ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. मात्र 2 फॉर्म होते हैं, एक फॉर्म नंबर 8 और एक फॉर्म नंबर 11, जो कि मुझे 2 कंप्लीट करने पड़ते हैं. कि लास्ट ईयर जो मेरा बिजनेस था उसमें मेरी जो फर्म है उसमें कोई चीज चेंज तो नहीं हुई है. लाइक मेरे जो पार्टनर्स हैं, वो सपोज 3 पार्टनर्स थे, तो तीनों पार्टनर्स ही मेरे कंटिन्यू हैं या कोई आया है या कोई गया हुआ है. ये मुझे एक फॉर्म में कंप्लीट करके देना पड़ता है. प्लस लास्ट का जो ऑडिट है वो ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल फिगर्स, जिसमें मेरा क्या प्रॉफिट हुआ है, क्या मेरे फाइनेंशियल्स के क्या मेरी कैपिटल है, क्या मेरे लोन्स हैं, ये मुझे फॉर्म नंबर 11 इन सब में देना पड़ता है. तो ये मेनली जो 3 चीजें हैं मुझे बिजनेस स्टार्ट करने के लिए, कि किस फॉर्म में कर सकता हूँ. कि अगर छोटा बिजनेस है तो मैं एज ए प्रोप्राइटर भी उसको आगे रन कर सकता हूँ कि ओके मैं ये चीज संभाल सकता हूँ, कोई बड़ा बिजनेस नहीं है. बट अगर जैसे ही मेरा बिजनेस आगे जाएगा तो उसके लिए मुझे या तो मुझे पार्टनरशिप फर्म बनानी पड़ेगी या कंपनी के रूप में मुझे आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा, जैसा ही मैंने अपना बिजनेस का प्लान किया हुआ है कि मैं कितना आगे कर सकता हूँ.
Thank you, Sandeep. Probably during question and answer session, probably we will contribution, because whenever we start company, either LLP, private limited, or proprietorship in any way, we always require help of CA. Without CA and the CA formalities, no business can move forward, because it's not even if you know how to do accounting, it is mandatory that we have to get the help of CA. So when we know that with the help of CA we make our structure of our business, either LLP or private limited or proprietorship. Now many a times most of us may not be having funds required to start off our business and sustain for initial 6 months or so. So the funding becomes very, very important many a times. very few may be having family background with father, mother giving them lumps of money. Okay, beta, beti, you go ahead and you do your business, but not so many other people. So now I invite Mr. Uh, Arvind Yadav. Arvind Yadav, he is pass out of 1994 from JNV Kanpur, and is presently working as branch head of Punjab National Bank in Pinya in Bangalore. And he's highly qualified. He is with MBA in banking and finance, and he has certification course from US with the GARP risk certification. I don't know what it is. He will be able to tell what is GARP risk certification, and he's the right person to tell us what kind of funds we can avail. Many times we hear angel investor, we hear, and then we hear venture capitalist. These terms many of us may not be knowing. And there is a classical way of getting funds through bank and other things. So I invite Mr. Arvind. Please enlighten us how the businesses, new startups can avail funding. Please.
Yeah. Uh, Thank you very much, Dr. Praveen. As we heard from Ms. Anita and Mr. Sandeep, that like what are the key things when you want to start a business of your own, like what kind of market research you need to do, the appropriate business idea, and at what scale you want to operate once you start your own business, at what scale you want to operate. So after you have done all these preliminary things, like what do you want to do, at what scale, then the first thing comes is like from where the money will come. So classically, when we look at funding, the first and foremost thing comes in the mind, that is how much you are going to contribute from your own side, how much you are going to put into the business from your own pocket, and that is what we call uh, in plain terms, that is capital. So whether it's you or some of your partners, some of your interested investors who are willing to invest in your business, so how much money you bring from your own pocket, that is most important thing when you are entering into an entrepreneurship. Why it is important? Because whenever you approach any funding source in the market, people first look at what business idea you have and how much you believe in your own business idea. So the amount of risk you are ready to take, that is basically gauged by the amount of money you are ready to bring into the business. So suppose you are going to start a business, say with the 50 lakh of initial investment, and if you are ready to invest say 50%, 60%, then it becomes easier for the other participants in the market to believe that okay, whatever business idea you have got, that is viable enough. You yourself is willing to invest your time, resources, and energy into it. So that is the most important part of your funding. So whenever you start up a business, I know capital is a very scarce thing. Everybody might not be readily having it, but for entrepreneurship, that is something like we need to have at the start of the business. Then after that, when we know that for starting the business we have our own funding, then there are a number of other avenues through which you can raise the capital, or you can raise the funds for running of your business. So ideally, I would divide these sources into three, four categories. I will touch upon one by one. So for startups, because startup is a very I would say it's a very fancy term, but if you look at in a very simpler language, like you have got something, it might not be a altogether new business avenue, it might be something, an existing business idea, but in the region where you are operating, there you are the new entrant, or even if there are enough people doing the same business, you are just another entrant into that territory. So startup is like when you do start your own business, then the first and foremost source is your crowdfunding. So nowadays there are a lot of people who are willing to they themselves do not want to enter into entrepreneurship, but they are ready to take the higher risk, because with a new business venture it is always uh, tagged with the higher probability of not getting the success, but at the same time rewards are also equally good. So there are people in the market who are willing to invest in your business, provided they found your business idea good enough and it's a credible one. So crowdfunding is, first and foremost thing which is readily available. There are online platforms. If you like uh, you yourself can explore, and there are individuals who are ready to invest, there are institutions who are ready to invest. So crowdfunding is first and foremost idea for funding your new startup business. Then comes your once the uh, scale of operation is slightly bigger, then venture capital funds can be a very handy tool at times. These are kind of funds who collects money from different people, institution, and that money is collected for the sole purpose of investing into the new businesses. So these funds are operating throughout the world, and even in India also there are enough venture capital funds, and it depends how we liaison with them, how we approach them, and how viable our business idea appeals to them. So venture capital funds are like uh, professional bodies who provide funding to the new businesses. Then there are individual high net worth individuals across the globe, even in India also. Apart from crowdfunding and venture capital funds, there are people who are ready to take risks, and they are ready to invest in the new business ideas. So again, collaborating with the HNIs and making the connection with them, that's another challenge. But this is a good option if some HNIs are ready to invest in your business idea, either as a business partner, or like they can just fund the business and they can stay out of the business and they can share the profit. So that is also one such good option. Then comes the normal commercial banks. So what happens traditionally, we know that new businesses are riskier, a lot riskier than the established ones, and usually the commercial banks shy away from lending to new businesses. uh, because I know from my 15 years of banking experience, there are enough schemes to fund the existing entrepreneurs, existing businesses, but there are very few I would say very few schemes which support the new entrant. But there are schemes, there are government backed schemes also, where the state government or central governments they step in, they provide you the subsidies in the form of capital, they provide you interest subsidies, they provide you all type of supports, skill developments, trainings. So banks work usually with these government bodies. We usually call them district industry center, KYC centers, and all that. And you all might be aware of the very popular schemes like PMEGP, Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Scheme, then your Mudra scheme, Stand Up India, Startup India. So all these names are very much synonymous with each other. The whole purpose of these schemes floated by government is to provide the financial support to the new businesses which are coming, whether at a small scale in the form of MSMEs, or at a micro, a very small, or slightly larger scale. So these are some government schemes through which bank function. So bank provide the loan part of it, subsidy part of is taken care by the government. So broadly, these are few avenues through which all new entrepreneurs can benefit from. They can appropriately balance their funding, whether it's like they want to go for venture capital, they want to go for crowdfunding, or they want to go for traditional bank lending. So that's the brief summary how the entrepreneurs can think of getting the necessary funds for starting their own business. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arvind. That's a very important aspect of any entrepreneur, for entrepreneur to start any startups, how to fund our business. Next topic will be, once you have your idea how to go about your business and you are able to procure the funds, or you have your own funds, the next important thing is how to hire the staff in the beginning, especially because as an entrepreneur, most of us will be initially, at least, will be doing all work from grade 4 work to grade 1 employee work. Everything is done by entrepreneur himself or herself. But as you want to really scale up your business, you require a very good employees, and very good employees, and they have to stay back with you for a longer time also. So to learn this trick, the staff in the beginning, and possible way of retaining them for a longer time, I invite Mr. Raj Sharma. He is JNV Chandigarh alumnus, and he has a good CV. Like, he has worked as a HR with Times of India, and he was a deputy manager in Hindustan Times, and he has done MBA in human resources, and he is also a businessman having two businesses. One is Rajtaj.in, that dealing with the corporate canteen contract business, and another he has is British Council certificate, works as an immigrant consultant. So these kind of two business he is running also. So I invite Mr. Raj Sharma from Chandigarh to help us out how to hire the new staff and retain them to expand our business and to take off our business. Please, Raj Sharma.
Thank you, Praveen sir, and welcome everyone. I'm very thankful to all the hosts here who has given us an opportunity to share our views. So, being from the fraternity of HR and having exposure with MBA HR from one of the renowned universities, I take it as a pleasure for me to share my views about the manpower. As rightly said by Dr. Parveen Bhaiya, I am handling two businesses as of now. It's been 5-year journey of me into business fraternity, and I'm taking care of two business. One is a corporate canteen, where I am handling a manpower of around 40 employees, all blue collar. And then I do have another business of immigration, and in this I am taking care of 6 employees, and they are completely white collar. So being from HR vertical, it was always a blessing for me in a business to get the right manpower at right time and at right place. So talking about the startups, that why manpower is important and how we can source it, I have made up a page, and I believe you all can take a screenshot as well. In a time limit of mine, 15 minutes, I would try to cover up everything, and in QA, you may ask me a number of questions. I would make myself available to answer that. So I hope I am sharing my screen. For startups, there are 11 points, right? So first and foremost is portals. Portals means Naukri.com, Monster, Timesjob.com, which are very famous. But if we talk about the startups into the blue collars, none of them would be useful at all, because Naukri.com, Monster, Timesjob.com, or other portals are good once you are recruiting manpower for the white collar. Right? Then there is a second option, that is a consultancy agencies. They would charge you 8.33% of the CTC. It's again good for the white collar, but yes, there are a couple of consultancies which particularly focus on blue collar jobs, and they provide it by taking 8.33% of whole year income of that particular profile which they have provided. Then third is campus placements. Now it's depend upon the budget and the quality which we are looking in. In startup, I believe this is very much important to understand that there is a term in HR, right person at right time at right place, right? So right person, right time, right place, this all three combination, this triangle comes with the help of your budget. If you have a good budget, you may land into the IITs or IIMs for your placement. Else, you will have to go to the C category of B schools, where according to your budget, you can recruit the manpower for yourself. Now, there are a couple of ways which are absolutely free. One is LinkedIn. By this personal posting, you can do it. There is no cost for it. And there are quite groups in LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the very professional platform these days. And there are groups like you can find out on the LinkedIn groups like IT professional in Mumbai, right? Or freshers looking to make career in pharmaceutical company. So there are groups on the LinkedIn. You can join them. Sometimes you have to take the permission from admin, and some are open. So you can post it there, and you can get the good database from there. Then similarly, there is another way is FB, Facebook. Same like LinkedIn, it also works. You have to take some permission from admin to post, and sometimes they are open to you. I believe 6 point WhatsApp group would be very known to everyone. You can share your requirement by making your job descriptions, KRAs, KPIs. These are the terms which should be mentioned in your job description, so you know that what kind of services you want your employee to do. Then third is reference bonus within company, but it is not effective for startups, as this is a very good funda for those companies who do have a huge manpower. If I talk about, for example, Godrej or Tata Motors or Mahindra Group, so before they share any opening to the world, they always share that opening within their company. So with this, they are able to source the manpower from the reference, and they give the reference bonus to their employees. So with this way, they make a community within the company. Then local exchange. In every district, there is a local exchange by the government. From there, you can find a good database. But in local local exchange, majorly you will get the blue collar jobs opening related profiles. If you are looking for white collars for your startup, this is not a right way. Then there is a one another very effective and economical way for the right manpower is to give the advertisement in newspaper. So now in newspaper, there is a particularly a Times of India newspaper, which is Times Ascent. If particularly I talk about Maharashtra, Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, these particular states, in these states, this Time Ascent is very economical, and it has a very good reach. Most of the youngsters, despite of this digital era, following the Time Ascent. So by giving advertisement here, you can have a good manpower. Again, I would like to mention it's again for the white collar jobs. White collar, I am not saying CEO, CFO, anything above than 15,000 rupees and having must have some skill set of computers, they fall into the white collar jobs. Then if somebody is looking for blue collar job or a mid scale job, then OLX, Quicker, Sulekha.com, these are absolutely a free platforms, and number of masses, I would say huge number of masses come and try to get the job from OLX, Quicker, Sulekha.com, and being employer, startup owner, this is a free platform for you. You will not have to shed money to get the right manpower. Then career pages on company website. Certainly, if you are making a startup, you will make your website. It's always a sagacious notion to put a career page in your website. By this, circulating this particular page, there would be more visitor to your website. One thing, your brand building would be augmented, and second, it would give a professional look, and you will have a free sourcing of manpower. Now coming to the second point, I have only 3 points. So coming to the second one, why it is one of the tedious job. I believe my page is still visible to everyone, right, Dr. Purnia?
Yes, yes, visible.
Thank you. So why it is a tedious job? It's always a Herculean task. Manpower nahi mil raha, manpower nahi mil raha. I'm not getting the right manpower. I'm not getting those staff which is can align to me. It's all because first reason, experienced people keep one arm distance as they are not sure about funding. Those who having a experience of more than a decade, they always look for, majority of them always look for a peaceful and settlement life. I want to work with a brand name where I am getting my salary for sure. They don't want to take a risk, majority of them. So that's the reason experienced people don't join startup unless and until they are not sure about the fundings, right? So this is one of the very tedious job for which getting manpower for startup is a big thing. Then freshers from renowned B schools or top university usually prefer brands. We have seen many IITs, IIMs, or in fact from alumni of Pune University, Punjab University, Delhi University, from engineering or MBA background that yes, they do join the startups. But trust me, being from the HR fraternity and involved with the recruitment process for more than decade, I know these are those students who join the startups company once they are sure that startup is fully funded. It's not gonna be out of cash in coming 4 to 5 years. So otherwise, they would prefer to go with the renowned brand names, and startups are the one which they have to create their brand. Third, freshers from non-renowned business schools or local universities are not worthy. Usually not worthy. I won't say if there are 60 students, all of them are not good. There would be a couple of diamonds out of them. But yes, again, it's a difficult thing. So coming to the conclusion, first part was what are the ways for the recruitment. This was the first part. What are the ways of recruitment for startup? Second was why it is one of the tedious job. Now solution to this problem is thus. For startup companies, getting experienced staff is one of the Herculean tasks. So ideal way, ideal ways are followed. First and foremost is the campus placement, right? Now, campus placement is one of the right way for startups to get the right manpower because you would be going to those campuses which are according to your budget. Usually, before going to any placement, you make it crystal clear to the whole aspirants and to college and placement coordinator that what is your budget. So you will be interviewing those students who are ready to take that money. So in this way, you will not be squandering your time, whereas you would be investing your time with the right candidates, those according to their CTC, they are comfortable with you. But again here, as it happens in all colleges, they will give you a number of students to get interviewed. So you will be spending too much of time and output. Certainly you will get good output, but that would not may not be proportionate to the time invested on that. And being in startup, time is everything. So according to my experience of more than decade being a HR professional, I would say the best part is consultancy agencies. And I want to make it clear, I don't have any consultancy agency, neither I am referring anyone. What is the benefit of consultancy agencies? First and foremost, they would be working on your behalf. They would be rigorously working because they would be getting money out of you. One thing. Second thing, consultancies give the 3 months replacement guarantee. If somebody joins you, for example, on 1st of May, if that particular staff leave you before May, June, July, for before July end, then they will provide you a free manpower without charging anything extra. And moreover, even 8.33 you have to provide after 15 days of joining of your manpower. So in this way, you save your money and you interview those candidates who are actually ready to join, who are keen to make future with the startup companies. So this is the right way where you can save your time by spending a little amount to the experts to find out the right manpower for you. That was all from my side. And I believe in question and answer round, as said by Dr. Praveen Bhaiya, I would be happy to solve your any kind of queries. Thank you.
Sure, Dr. Rashama. There are many things for us to learn from your presentation, actually. So
Thank you.
let's hope to learn more during question and answer session. After hiring the staff and having fund everything, we know that almost 80% of the startups fail, and because there could be some way where we can insure ourselves. Any insurance of our building, our equipments, and a few of the aspect of business failure we can prevent by insurance is one idea. So I invite Mr. Tek Singh Patel. He's a manager in Max Life Insurance Company to talk on what types of insurance one needs to take for our insurance for our startup in our entrepreneur journey. So Tek Singh Patel has done MA in economics in JNU from Delhi, and he is from JNE Kanivada, Sivani district in MP. Please.
Thank you so much, प्रवीण भैया, जो आपने मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी दी, और थैंक्स टू ऑल मेरे जितने भी पैनल्स मेंबर्स हैं और जितने भी मेरे पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं. गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल. जैसे मेरा डिस्कशन आपसे हुआ था, मैंने सेशन अटेंड किया था. फर्स्ट ऑफ की इंटरप्रेन्योर, कोई भी इंटरप्रेन्योर आप जानते हैं कि रिस्क लेता है, चाहे व्यक्ति ऑन कैपिटल हो या फिर बोरोड कैपिटल हो. तो मेरे को कहीं ना कहीं इसमें रिस्क फैक्टर देखता है, और मैं इस इंश्योरेंस लाइन में एज अ मैनेजर इंडस्ट्रियली यहाँ पे पीतमपुर. तो आप जैसे बिजनेसमैन, मैं बहुत सारे बिजनेसमैन से मिलता रहता हूँ, तो अधिकतर मैंने देखा है, जैसे हम बात करते हैं फंडिंग की, तो हर कोई भी इंटरप्रेन्योर हो, कोई भी बिजनेसमैन हो, कहीं ना कहीं से बोरो मनी के लिए एक रिस्क लेके चलता है. तो मैं ये बताऊंगा कि कौन से इंश्योरेंस व्यक्ति को लेके रखना चाहिए जिससे कि वो अपने रिस्क फैक्टर को कम कर सकता है. फर्स्ट थिंग मैं बात करूंगा कि व्यक्ति इसमें आता है कि इंटरप्रेन्योर में व्यक्ति टाइप किस टाइप का है, या प्रोप्राइटरशिप है, पार्टनरशिप है, एलएलपी है, जैसे मेरे सीए संदीप त्रिपाठी भैया ने डिस्क्राइब किया. तो नंबर्स ऑफ प्रकार के इंटरप्रेन्योर होते हैं. तो मैं जस्ट डिस्क्राइब करूंगा कि फर्स्ट कोई भी इंटरप्रेन्योर हो तो पहले आपने आप को सिक्योर करे. जैसे इसमें होता है टर्म इंश्योरेंस. टर्म इंश्योरेंस उसको लेके रखना चाहिए. जैसे प्रोप्राइटरशिप है तो उसको टर्म इंश्योरेंस लेके रखना चाहिए. पार्टनरशिप है उसको भी लेके रखना चाहिए. एलएलपी है तो सारे डायरेक्टर की लेके रखना चाहिए. सेकंड चीज, हमें इंश्योरेंस लेना चाहिए की मैन इंश्योरेंस, जो कि होता है जैसे आज आप देखते हैं बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज हैं, हीरो है, मारुति सुजुकी, इन्होंने अपने एक मैन पर्सन का इंश्योरेंस लेके रखते हैं, की मैन इंश्योरेंस. क्यों? क्योंकि हमें उस व्यक्ति के जाने से किसी भी प्रकार का कोई लॉस ना हो, हम उस व्यक्ति को बोलते हैं की मैन इंश्योरेंस. इससे क्या होता है, इससे अगर उसके छोड़ने या उसके जाने से, उसकी डेथ से कभी भी कंपनी कोई लॉस होता है तो कंपनी को उसको जो भी लॉस होते हैं उसको कवर इंश्योरेंस कंपनी करती है. थर्ड चीज होती है एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉय इंश्योरेंस. ये इसलिए लेके रखना चाहिए क्योंकि पहली चीज है इससे एम्प्लॉय रिटेन होता है. मतलब किसी कंपनी कोई किसी व्यक्ति अगर कोई एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉय लेता है तो उससे पहले रिटेन होता है एम्प्लॉय. सेकंड चीज एम्प्लॉय प्रोटेक्टेड होता है. इफ इन केस बाय द वे वर्किंग में कभी भी मिस हैपनिंग ना हो हमारे एम्प्लॉय के साथ में, इफ इन केस वो क्लेम भी ना करे उसकी फैमिली, तो हमें एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉय इंश्योरेंस लेके रखना चाहिए. इसमें बेनिफिट ये है कि पहली चीज तो वो कंपनी को रिटेन हो रहे हैं. सेकंड चीज फैमिली उसकी प्रोटेक्टेड हो रही. थर्ड चीज उसके लिए इनकम टैक्स में ये बेनिफिट होता है अंडर सेक्शन 37A. मतलब कभी भी कोई भी एम्प्लॉयर, कोई भी इंटरप्रेन्योर अगर एम्प्लॉय के लिए इंश्योरेंस लेता है, खुद के लिए लेता है, अंडर 37(1) के तहत ये टैक्स फ्री होता है. जैसे हम लोग 80C का बेनिफिट लेते हैं, इसी प्रकार इंटरप्रेन्योर कोई भी व्यक्ति इसका टैक्स बेनिफिट ले सकता है. सेकंड चीज, इसमें एक चीज बहुत अंतर होता है, जैसे पहले लेते टाइम उसको एक्सपेंस में काउंट होता है, बट इसका डिफरमेंट होता है. इफ इन केस कोई भी एम्प्लॉय अगर इसकी डेथ हो जाती है और उसको ये एम्प्लॉयर है उसको पॉलिसी हैंड ओवर कर देता है, तो ये पूरा टैक्स फ्री मैच्योरिटी भी आ जाती है, मतलब डेथ बेनिफिट आता है. इफ इन केस अगर मिस हैपनिंग नहीं होती है और एम्प्लॉयर चाहे कि भाई मुझे एक एम्प्लॉय रिटेन कर रहा है तो उसकी ओनरशिप चेंज कर सकता है. मतलब एम्प्लॉयर से वो कंपनी के जो एम्प्लॉय उस पर चेंज कर सकता है. इससे बेनिफिट ये होगा कंपनी की वर्थ भी बढ़ेगी और कंपनी का नाम भी बढ़ेगा. थर्ड चीज मैं एक चीज कंपेयर करना चाह रहा था जो कि मैंने देखा है, इंश्योरेंस में एक एक्ट होता है MWP. आज आप देख रहे हैं इंसॉल्वेंसी बहुत ज्यादा है. कोई भी व्यक्ति बिजनेस रन कर रहा है, जरूरी नहीं है बिजनेस बराबर चल पाए, हर व्यक्ति रिस्क फैक्टर लेके चल रहा है. जैसे आप देख रहे हैं नीरव मोदी, विजय माल्या, ये राहुल चौकसी, इन्होंने लोगों ने भी एक एक्ट होता है MWP, मैरिड वुमेन प्रॉपर्टी एक्ट 1874, जो कि हम लोग कोई भी व्यक्ति इसको लेके नहीं रखता है। मेरे जैसे सीए हैं संदीप त्रिपाठी भैया, मैं अधिकतर इंश्योरेंस, एक्चुअली मैं वर्किंग हूँ लेकिन वाइफ के नाम से कंपनी रजिस्टर्ड है, तो मैं नवोदय को ज्यादा फोकस करता हूँ कि मेरे जितने भी नवोदय भाई बहन है सबसे ज्यादा उसको कवर करके रखें। मेरे से नहीं, किसी भी कंपनी से इंश्योरेंस लेते हैं, फर्स्ट टाइम आप इंश्योरेंस लेते हैं इससे नो चार्जेस रहता है। मैरिड वुमेन प्रॉपर्टी 87 को नो चार्जेस एनी टाइप, जस्ट एक अमेंडेड होता है, उसमें आपकी वाइफ की डिटेल्स आती है और आपकी जो भी नॉमिनीज को, इसमें अंडर सेक्शन, इसमें 2 सेक्शन होते हैं, एक 5 होता है, 5A और 5B होता है। 5A में कोई भी अगर मेल परपेजर है वो अपनी वाइफ को और अपने बच्चों को सिक्योर कर सकता है, वेरी यूजफुल है। सेकंड चीज, कोई 5B होता है जो कि वाइफ अपने सेल्फ को और अपने बच्चों को सिक्योर कर सकती है, वेरी यूजफुल है। इसमें ये नॉन टचेबल प्रॉपर्टी होती है, कोई भी व्यक्ति इसके बारे में सोचता नहीं है, बट इसको लेके रखना चाहिए।
Thank you, Mr. Tek Singh Patel. Having said that, covering all these 3-4 topics, we know that startup is not so easy, and you require a lot of passion to be an entrepreneur and make your startup successful. So, in order to get inspired, I invite Mr. Ashwin Kumar to tell us few inspirational stories or examples of a entrepreneur's story which has been success. Qualification is chartered accountant. He is alumnus of JNV Mandya, Karnataka, and he is a proprietor. He has multiple business. He has a proprietor of Ashwin Kumar and Co, which is a CA firm. And he is a founder of Aramba Kushi Tech India Private Limited, founder trustee of Vidya Dare School and Vidya Bharati Study Center, founder and president of Algur Hobli Jana Shuddhi Sakara Sangha. He is a founder of Smruti Consulting Services Private Limited. He is a founder of Naga Vijaya Builder LLP. He is also a farmer, and he is a founder and trustee of Rukshapurna Trust and Vidyapurna Trust, and is an executive member of Karnataka State Chartered Accountant Association. Looks like we have a polymath in our panel.
Wonderful. Good evening to all of you, dear panelists and participants. Yeah, myself Ashwin Kumar, Chartered Accountant. Basically, myth in the entrepreneurship, according to me, is just the word success itself is the myth in successful entrepreneurship. Because how do you measure a success in entrepreneurship or any kind of a business? Do you measure it by profit, volume, or business, or your market capitalization, or based on your share market capitalization? How you measure a success in a entrepreneurship? That is the biggest question mark. And that is itself is the myth in a entrepreneurship, according to me. According to me, successful entrepreneurship means if you are able to provide solution to some other's problem, so based on that you are getting some personal satisfaction, then you will be a successful entrepreneur. I think I hope you guys understand. If even a farmer who is able to grow some paddy, and because of that he is feeding some families, then he is also a successful farmer, because the successful entrepreneur who is today, he may not be a successful entrepreneur tomorrow. If we take an example of Anil Ambani, who has a trusted brand Reliance Industries, now he is insolvent. So you cannot measure a success in entrepreneurship, because every day is not a Sunday. So because even though you are a successful entrepreneur as of today, but you may not be tomorrow, because you have to adapt to the next market demand and changes as customers demands. So I think myths in entrepreneurship, I think I have clarified. Next step, what I am trying to tell is, what are the mistakes will be done by a entrepreneur. This was the question asked by Praveen morning only. And according to me, the entrepreneur should be allowed to do mistakes, but he should learn how to solve those mistakes. So he has to do mistakes, because of that. Then only he can be a successful entrepreneur. Then only he can achieve something. Based on that only he can be a successful entrepreneur. So, because one more thing, every entrepreneur who wants to be entrepreneur should understand that they are not going to create any new thing, because you are not a god to create something or any new product. You are going to do things in different way. So based on that, because in as of now, into 21st century, most of the things are available. So you have to find out what is the best way to achieve that, to give a solution to any problem or this one. So for an example, I am going to give one story. In 2000, I think before 2000, people are not familiar in India. People are not familiar with tissue paper. So in America, one company marketing head and production head conducted one press meet, and there he has announced that they are going to establish a production unit in India. So in press meet, most of the people who have attended that press meet, they laughed at him, saying that in India is a poor country. How can you do a business of tissue paper like that? Someone have raised the question. So suddenly that marketing head told that India may be a poor country, but it has a population more than around 80 CR. I am talking of the year 2000, 80 CR. In that, at least if I get 1% customer to my company, so I will be a billionaire. So this is the thinking. That's what I am telling. You have to think in a different way to achieve your target. So you are not doing any new thing. You have to do things differently. Then only you can be a successful entrepreneur. So this is one story which I want to tell, and one more story I want to tell about ITC. I think every one of us know what ITC company is for. It is India. The name itself is Indian Tobacco Company. Correct? They are very famous for cigarettes. Correct? So before ITC entering into biscuit industry, there was a proverb in Indian biscuit industry saying that Parle-G and Britannia company are the two big banyan tree in biscuit industry. Banyan tree, the speciality of banyan tree is that tree, it is not allowing to any other trees to grow under it. So there was a proverb. So they suddenly decided to enter into biscuit industry. Then also entire industry and corporates laughed at the ITC company. Being a tobacco company, how can you come to food processing industry? How can you manage? How can you target customer? What are the flavors? Like that, so many questions were thrown out to that marketing head. The marketing head simply answered only one sentence. He told that in India, in a typical village of India, you are not going to get a medicine at least for a headache. But you are getting my products. This was the word said by ITC marketing head. He told that in a typical village of in India, any corner of India, you are not at all getting even a medicine for a headache, at least for a headache, but you are getting a product of mine. So that is my marketing capability. That is my strength. So because based on that strength only, I will market my food biscuits also, and I will achieve the target. Like that, yes, told within 1 year. Britannia's and Parleji's marketing sales, whatever the sales they achieved last year, compared to that, there was a fallout around 50 to 60% in sales in next year. So this was the actual and true stories which I have seen in my profession. So like that, so you have to think differently to achieve any this one, then only you can achieve the success. That's what I am trying to say. Thanking you.
Thank you, Mr. Ashwin Kumar. Ashwin Kamble is asking, can you also guide about the documents and procedures required to register a business? Sandeep, can you answer that in brief? You have to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. There are a few questions asked by our audience. We'll try to answer them.
ये डिपेंड करेगा कि आपको बिजनेस क्या करना है, कि प्रोप्राइटरशिप पर अगर कंसर्न स्टार्ट करना है तो सिर्फ दो चीजें होती हैं, एक गुमास्ता बनवाना पड़ता है जो कि बिजनेस के लिए रन के लिए होता है, और दूसरा जिस नगर निगम में आप हैं तो वहां का एक नगर निगम लाइसेंस लगता है। ये दो चीजें से आप अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। और बट अगर आपका एक्सपेक्टेड है कि आपका टर्नओवर 20 लाख से ऊपर जाएगा, देन आपको वहां जीएसटी नंबर भी लेना पड़ेगा। इन तीन चीजों से आप अपना बिजनेस रन कर सकते हैं, शुरू कर सकते हैं, आप स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं।
ओके।
और अगर आप पार्टनरशिप के लिए जाते हैं तो सबसे पहले आपको पार्टनरशिप फर्म रजिस्टर्ड करवानी पड़ेगी, जो कि पार्टनरशिप फर्म एक्ट के अंतर्गत होती है। और जैसे ही आपकी पार्टनरशिप एक डीड रजिस्टर्ड हो जाती है, उसके बाद आपको एक अलग से पैन नंबर लेना होता है जिसके बिहाफ पे आप अपना बिजनेस रन कर सकते हैं। तो आपको अगर जीएसटी लेना है तो उसमें भी आपको पार्टनरशिप डीड, आपका नगर निगम लाइसेंस, आपका गुमास्ता, आपका पार्टनरशिप फर्म का पैन कार्ड, ये कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट्स उसमें
Okay, fine. The Anand ji is asking, what are the type of entrepreneurship? Like some say social entrepreneur, some say entrepreneur. Yeah, tell me, sir.
So I was going through the questions posted by some of the attendees, and someone was again asking what's difference between entrepreneur and startup. And another question, what you are referring to is like what kind of entrepreneurship is.
Yeah, types. Yeah.
So though I'm expert into entrepreneurship, basic difference between entrepreneurship and startup. So startup is like a person who is actually going to set up a new business entity. It can be like setting from the scratch. It can be setting up the company, making legal structure, paperwork, then funding, and making the company running. Entrepreneurship is slightly different from startup, where you try to promote new business ideas, where you try to invest your money, your resources. Whereas you yourself can be, you can involve yourself in the business, or you can just, keep a distance, an arm's length distance from the business. Whereas your sole purpose is to nurture the new ideas, invest the money, and let the people do the business. So this is what it is, and not going into very technical details of entrepreneurship. This is what basically the difference is.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Mukesh Chandra is asking, is there any law which force employee to have insurance as a mandatory step? And secondly, what should be the minimum strength of firm to have insurance for employee? Tek Singh Patel, you want to answer that?
Yes.
Is it mandatory or is it optional for a small firms?
ऑप्शनल,
big firms, yeah.
ऑप्शनल, बट रिस्क फैक्टर को लो करना तो ये चीज लेके रखना चाहिए। नॉमिनल कॉस्ट फॉर टर्म इंश्योरेंस 5,000 रुपीज में भी मिल जाता है 1 करोड़ रुपए का टर्म प्लान।
Okay. Probably the ESI insurance, the employee state insurance, That is probably if you have 20 employees, that is mandatory, correct?
Yes.
ESI insurance becomes mandatory if you
Yes.
your employees strength is more than 20. That's one
Yes.
thing. Then Mr. Shivkot from JNV Bareilly is asking, can you please share the process to incorporate a company? He means private limited company. Can you tell in brief?
एटलीस्ट दो बंदे जो डायरेक्टर्स हैं वो 2 डायरेक्टर्स होने चाहिए. उनका एक डीएससी होता है, डिजिटल सिग्नेचर सर्टिफिकेट, वो नेसेसरी होता है.
Should be 2 minimum directors to start a private limited company. And what is the minimum startup investment they have to do? The
1 lakh.
capital?
1
1 lakh is the minimum amount they have to invest. And how long it takes to start a company?
एटलीस्ट 10 to 15 days. एक्चुअली जो मेन टाइम लगता है वो लगता है नेम अप्रूवल में. जो नाम मैं कंपनी का चाहता हूँ, लाइक मैं संदीप त्रिपाठी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड चाहता हूँ, तो जो आरओसी है वो ये देखती है कि ऑलरेडी इससे मिलता जुलता नाम तो नहीं है.
Okay.
तो जो मेन प्रॉब्लम है वो होता है कि नेम अप्रूवल का. अगर आपको नेम अप्रूवल मिल जाता है तो 5 to 7 days में आपका प्रोसेस कंप्लीट हो जाता है.
Okay.
I think someone is asking about the term insurance. So briefly, if you can elaborate, what does that mean?
टर्म इंश्योरेंस एक नॉमिनल अमाउंट पे एक आपको हायर रिस्क कवर मिलता है जो कि आपकी लाइफ टू बी इंश्योर्ड को मिलता है. और इस पे पहले रिटर्न ऑफ प्रीमियम नहीं था, बट अभी रिटर्न ऑफ प्रीमियम मतलब जैसे इंश्योरेंस में होता है ट्रेडिशनल और यूलिप प्लान होते हैं, उसी प्रकार टर्म इंश्योरेंस होता है. टर्म मींस कंडीशनल, बट इस कंडीशनल में अभी एक 2 चीज ऐड हो गई. मैच्योरिटी वैल्यू इज अवेलेबल एंड सरेंडर वैल्यू इज अवेलेबल.
Somebody is asking what is insolvency?
यस, इंसॉल्वेंसी मतलब ये होता है कोई भी बोरोवर जो भी लोन लिया है उसको चुका नहीं पाता तो उसको इंसॉल्वेंट घोषित कर दिया जाता है, या फिर वो खुद कर दे या फिर बैंक उसको कर देती है. इसके लिए इंसॉल्वेंसी अभी चीजें ये हुई है भैया, मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा. हम लोग इतने भी बहुत सारे लोग नारे, जैसे कोई भी व्यक्ति अभी कोई भी गारंटी लेता है किसी, पहले ये चीज नहीं होती थी. अगर कोई भी व्यक्ति किसी भी पर्सन की गारंटी लेता है तो पहले तक प्रॉपर्टी जब्त नहीं होती थी, बट अभी प्रॉपर्टी जब्त हो जाएगी. इसीलिए आपको जो भी कोई भी अगर आप प्रॉपर्टी कर रहे हैं, इंश्योरेंस ले रहे हैं, आप उसको एमडब्ल्यूपी के तहत रजिस्टर्ड कराइए, क्योंकि इन फ्यूचर हम नहीं चाहते कोई भी लॉस हमारे परिवार को हो.
Okay, fine. The question asked by one of the attendees is what kind of businesses are likely to be more successful in rural area? गांव की एरियाज में कौन सा बिजनेस ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल हो सकता है?
एरिया के लिए फर्स्ट थिंग, जैसे मैं अभी वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट का वर्क करूं, फर्स्ट थिंग हमें देखना पड़ेगा रूरल में हम किस प्रकार का बिजनेस कर सकते हैं. उसके लिए कैपिटल भी डिपेंड करती है. मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा रूरल में अगर आप वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट पे जाते हैं तो ये हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और आपको बहुत अच्छी चीजें भी सफलता भी मिलेगी. जैसे आप देख रहे हैं सिलाई मशीन का कार्य है ना, नॉर्मल वेजेस में आपको वुमेन्स अवेलेबल हो जाएंगी और उनको आप एम्प्लॉयमेंट भी प्रोवाइड कर पाएंगे. देन आपको नॉमिनल कॉस्ट में सारी चीजें आपको कर सकते हैं. तो मेरा बोलूंगा सिलाई मशीन है. सेकंड चीज जो आप देख रहे थे दोना पत्तल का है या कैंडल बनाने वाला भी नहीं है, लेकिन आप सिलाई मशीन वाला काम बहुत इजीली कर सकते हो और बहुत बेस्ट है.
Yeah, I want to contribute something.
Yeah.
Can I say it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Nikhil. So I've been doing my clients are completely rural India. It's completely rural sector. So I'll quickly come to the point. Several businesses which are आप rural India में कर सकते हैं. Okay, मैं हिंदी में बात करता हूँ सबको समझने के लिए.
Yeah.
So point number 1 is assisted e-commerce. See, we have India is a very it's a fastest growing e-commerce market in the globe. Okay, so we have the digital transformations happening. पूरा digital हो रहा है, सबके पास मोबाइल फोन है, सबके पास है. तो everyone majority of the e-commerce in India जो इंडिया में है वो urban areas में, urban cities में है. So अभी e-commerce rural area में कैसे grow हो सकता है? Everyone is looking for tier 2, tier 3 और rural. So assisted e-commerce एक business model है, उसके लिए समझ लीजिए आप sorry my Hindi is bad. Yeah, so you can learn about it, you can Google about it. There are many companies, so my company is India wise, and apart from that you can go for India is at a global level. Every foreign national is looking for India as an alternative for China. So you can actually develop manufacturing of organic products आयुर्वेदा, योगा, बायो प्रोडक्ट्स एंड ऑल दैट, वो डिमांड बहुत ही ग्लोबल मार्केट में बहुत ही बढ़ रहा है. Everyone is looking for organic manufacturing. तो आपका जो भी है, necessarily like you can take the basic up, like Andhra or Telangana में there is pachadi, there is rural foods, food consumption. It's very growing. So there are many businesses which are growing. One need to understand that the evergreen business are food. The evergreen business are the next growing, the next 2-decade business are organic, any sort of organic manufacturing. Other thing is about digital e-commerce. These three things I would suggest.
Pravinji, Dr. Pravinji, I'm Srinivas Rajaram.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
I would like to add a point here, like sir said, and also have a question.
Yeah.
I have, since my specialization is from rural areas, from IIT Bombay,
Yeah.
so I have been documenting over the rural startups and rural ideas. So currently we have around a document having 65 different startups which can be possible in the rural India with the machinery and technology and some traditional methods. So whoever wishes, I can share the document. And various challenges in going for the rural startups also. Today also I shared among various networks where we have one of our friends rural startup has been initiated during this COVID time. It's about fruits and vegetables distribution door to door by using the e-commerce. So of course organic products are also included. It is in the towns and rural connection. Second thing I just want to ask, my question to Dr. Arvind sir. Maybe we need the details of this different kinds of Indian government schemes to get a process step by step of getting loans. PMEGP or Stand Up India and all, because we don't know the process of doing it, proper process of doing it. Sir, can you answer this?
Yeah. So, Mr. Srinivas, I think definitely we have got that marketing material ready with us. But at the same time, if you go to the internet, like there are dedicated government of India all of these schemes. So there is a dedicated web portal. You can register yourself there. You can find out all the details and how to approach the bank using the loan for a particular business. So there is a dedicated portal. Lot of information is there. It's a very interactive portal.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You
I will
share
go
your
and for doubts, I
yeah.
will get back to you on mail, and please give your contacts there at the end of the
Yeah,
session.
yeah, sure,
And
sure.
one more
You can
question I
always
wanted to,
come.
I want to ask you is regarding the
Yeah.
crowdfunding which you have said. So
Mm-hmm.
yesterday I was discussing with our panelists, some of the members also. I am
Mm-hmm.
interested in going for the crowdfunding for one of my rural agri business.
Right.
It is on the food processing
Okay.
of pulses. So I have
Right.
got already the machine from one of our
Mm-hmm.
company. I am Ahmedabad friend, but
Mm-hmm.
I have to go by the shed construction of around 1,000 square feet. It is costing around 3 lakh rupees. So
Okay.
once I finish the shed, I am eligible for the loan also. So I have to go for the
Even
crowdfunding. Can you
sorry
suggest
to
this?
yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Like if you purchase the machinery and if you want to build up a factory shed, so if you prefer, you can always approach any bank and like they can give you the loan to build a factory shed also. Even the
Sir.
banks extend loans to purchase the machineries also, and for your day-to-day working capital requirements. So it's a like a very visible business idea which we know. Once you establish the factory and it's the running, then you are going to repay the loan. So it's
Yes,
such an
yes.
business where banks can be interested in lending to you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, Mr. Arvind, what is this venture capitalist? Where to find them?
There are venture capital funds usually come into picture when the funding requirement increases and it's like quite large. Then these are the dedicated funds. If you consult any investment banker or any financial consultant, there are lot of venture capital funds. The whole thing is this happens when your scale of operation is really big and you require a large sum of money. So then
Okay,
venture
okay.
capital funds come into
And,
picture. Yeah, for smaller businesses this cannot be a very new idea.
okay, usually they won't be interested in a smaller business, you know. VCs.
Usually they don't go into very small business.
Okay, okay. But for small and medium scale MSME, is a bank is the
I think
correct
bank is the
source.
bank is the correct forum, and KVIC is the nodal agency. So I would suggest all attendees, like if you are starting a small business at a very small scale. So Khadi and Village Industry Corporation, it's a nodal agency. Central government of India runs it, and that takes care of all your needs, starting from training, skill upgradation, including finance. So they provide you financial support also. So apart from bank loan, government also provides you something in the form of subsidy. So they
What about
should
SIDBI?
definitely look at this portal. Is also a good option, but SIDBI usually don't come into picture directly. So SIDBI lends through the commercial banks only. So whenever there are some schemes where SIDBI provides you the loan and the capital subsidy also, but they do it in collaboration with the commercial banks only. So SIDBI is like, yeah, again they do it through commercial banks only. There are
Okay.
many schemes from SIDBI also for small scale industries.
I thank one and all. It was a very good initiative. Feel that different people, different specialists from different area coming together and guiding the JNV entrepreneurs how to go further. I thank all the speakers as well as the attendees.